Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at Juroku's Elemental Even Shaman. Juroku, one of my viewers, sent this list through to me over on Hearthstone. I thought I would take a look. It's an Elemental Shaman deck that is, an Even Shaman deck that is trying to do something a little different, focus more on the elemental synergies. And be a bit more controlling as opposed to existing Even Shaman decks that are trying to be a bit more mid-range or aggressive and capitalize more in the early game. This deck has a little bit more late game power. So the main differences between the existing existing Even Shaman decks is many of them focus on early game minions like Direwolf Alpha, Knife Juggler, and particularly a strong synergy with the new what is it called? Thunderhead, with Zap and things like this. Generate a wide board, pump those minions up with Flame Tongue Totem and Direwolf Alpha, start shooting things down with Knife Juggler, and really capitalize on that element of the game. Instead, Juroku has gone for cards like Menacing Nimbus to give us a bit more gas for that late game. Elementary Reaction, same thing, bit more gas for that late game. Fireplume Phoenix to be a bit more controlling in that early game, as well as Tolvia Stoneshaper is just this thick, sturdy body that can be quite hard to bash through. Outside of that, we've got a lot of the very typical Even Shaman elements. A Merkspark Eel is one of the most powerful 2-drops printed. This card is just totally bananas. We've still got those Flame Tongue Totems in there. Earthen Might helps us buff up maybe a totem to start trading in, or an elemental to also start trading in, and once again give us a little bit more gas. We've got Hexes in here as great single target removal, gives us a great game against even Warlock. Arcane Dynamo is very, very interesting. If you haven't seen this card before, it's a 6 mana 3/4. It discovers a spell that costs 5 or more. And interestingly, in Shaman, there are only 5 spells that cost 5 or more. So we're extremely likely to discover a card like Volcano as a control element, or a card like Stormbringer and Bloodlust. If our opponent does let us get a little bit wide on the board, then we can really start capitalizing on it. We've got Fire Elementals in here as well. Grumble helps synergize a lot of our battle cries. Skulking Geist, I'm not too sure exactly the point of this, but I imagine it's an out to a lot of Druid decks that are out there. Alakir the Windlord, fantastic elemental. Hagatha, once again, very grindy card. Help get us a bit more value off of all these elementals that we're discovering. Calamos as a way to get back on board, or deal some damage, or heal us back up. I imagine we'll be choosing the heal mode quite often. Lich King in here, just a solid 8-drop. And one of the other big differences is Mountain Giants instead of Sea Giants. Because we're not focusing on getting really wide on the board very often, I think this is really interesting, especially with a lot of those cards that, you know, give us, like, essentially draw us 2 or add more cards to our hand. We're kind of cycling a lot of cards, you know, play a card and get one. So we are probably going to have quite a big hand. So I'm really interested to see how well these Mountain Giants do. Especially in the current meta. So things we'll be keeping an eye out for, like I said, those Mountain Giants. Also want to keep an eye out for these Tolvia Stoneshapers and how good those are, because this is the slot where we could see things like Corpse Taker, we could see things like Saronite Chain Gang. So it's a very contentious slot and very important one, and we want to make sure that we are playing the best minion for the job. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And other than that, looks pretty sweet, so hopefully we can have some good games. Okay, we're here against the Warrior.
For Doomhammer.
I think we've not having the most luck with the Mountain Giants. Send these back. Really want to hit those 2-drops. Not these 2-drops.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Oh, this is a good one to suit up with the Earthen Might. Or not. Make sure we start chipping away with this weapon, so our opponent can't get any value off like a Harrison Jones or a Skews. We're happy to get this eel down. And we might just leave one charge on the gear blade. Maybe Quest Rogue is actually good. I mean, it seemed great. It seemed really good, actually. Shield Slam. Yeah. I mean, our opponent hasn't really been doing, like, we haven't really lost many resources. If only the eel was an elemental. Yeah, I mean, that might be a bit too much, right? I was surprised that it was even a beast. His heal puts it out of the range of the Blood Razor. In general, it's just quite an irritating thing for our opponent to deal with. Dead Man's Hand. Okay. Don't want to get rid of the serum. Alright. Well, I want to start getting these elementary reactions off, so let's just go for the Fire Elemental. Wonder why they used that last Blood Razor charge. Okay. Opponent with the big execute on the healing totem. Sure. This is really awkward. I guess we have the grumble. So
when Earth moves, empires fall.
Well, no panel for packs. Time to think of alternate paths. Like I said, dude, I've got had some ideas before, but if you want to brainstorm, I'm all ears. All the Tolvirs, yeah. All the Tolvirs, no elementals. What is this?
Quake before the earth!
Probs later got stuff to take care of now. Yeah, no worries. Just hit me up whenever. But yeah, I think we can develop a gameplay and have something really cool happen. Oh, that's just in the deck.
Elements guide me. Elements guide me. When Earth moves, empires fall. Rumble!
That's just in the deck. Got some hexes. Got quite a few goodies from Singapore. Oh yeah, I should chuck some pictures up on your Discord or
I dream and
or Twitter, and take a look. Well, that's lethal, friend.
I give up. Self-destruct!
Woo! Got him.
Thrall versus Garrosh.
All right. You're against the same warrior.
Or death for Doomhammer.
Maybe this is the deck where we can go for a Mountain Giant. On the coin as well. Yeah, with the elementary reaction. Turn 1 totem, turn 2 Nimbus, turn 3 reaction. Shouldn't mean that we can get a turn 4 Mountain Giant, I think.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Obviously, last game our opponent was very eager to kill everything that we played, to say the least.
The calm before the storm.
Lightspawn. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. It's that weapons project. No attack though. Interesting. So do we go for the elementary reaction? Or do we go for the earthen might?
I wonder.
I mean, both give us a mountain giant next turn. I think we'll go for the earthen might though. Storm Chaser doesn't give us anything, unfortunately. No, it doesn't give us anything. It's a bit of a whiff on that one. I think it's Recruit Warrior, so definitely a value game. I think you're spot on with that one there. And we can put a lot of pressure on our opponent. This might force out a brawl. Ooh, that slam might also mean that our opponent won't have a. Or we'll have to cop 8 in order to execute
Elements guide me.
this mountain giant. Let's see what happens. Ooh, there's a brawl. Let's go. 1 in 3. Damn. Oh well. So I think we want to keep the pressure on. We could have gone for like elementary reaction or something there, like eel reaction, but the environmental is just a much bigger threat. And now we can eel to take care of this. Or we can fire elemental. Let's go eel light spawn. This might provoke a blood razor out for our opponent to take down the eel. And big armor. I think we'll just go for Grumble here. And replay the Light Spawn.
I wake once more.
Just a nice big body. Keep our elemental chain going. Make a bad brawl for our opponent. But I have the eel. We won't totem, just to once again reduce the power of brawl. Give ourselves a better worst case scenario. We've got the Calamos for 6 as well. So even if our opponent does brawl and leave us only with the eel, if they don't get any extra armor, we have still have the lethal. Great. So, even though I really wanted to play a Hagen, we'll just pop him in the dome. I'll make Calamos. Got it.
And escape my fury.
For Doomhammer.
Up against the rogue here. Pretty lackluster hand. Do we keep the Flame Tongue Totem to follow up from our turn 1 totem? If it's Odd Rogue, it's probably a bit weak. If it's anything else, might be okay. But with our opponent on the play, I just don't think we're ever going to get to keep a totem on board. So we'll send this back, give ourselves more chance to hit the Menacing Nimbus, the Merc Spark Eel, those really important 2-drops. It is unfortunate. This Earthenmite has a similar problem to the Flame Tongue Totem, in that, especially Odd Rogue, like our totems just
into our strength.
Just do not long for this world. Elementary reaction as well, not great. Not great in the current situation. Yep. Ooh, okay.
The calm before the storm.
Ah, that's a really good one to get. So not the greatest thing if our opponent has the Thug. Can dagger in. This maybe says that they have maybe a Cold Blood in hand. So we can Elementary Reaction and Totem to set up next turn playing a Mountain Giant. For 3. Or we could just Hot Spring. I think I'm going to go for the Mountain Giant. It is quite risky, especially against Odd Rogue. And, oh, yuck. They did have the Cold Blood.
What to do?
Your magic shall not save you.
We do have the hex for the fledgling. Didn't snap off the wind fury.
I wonder.
Not sure if we're going to get enough time to turn the corner on this one.
Ha! This guy's toast.
Especially with the second cold blood.
You win this.
Really, just too much pressure for us. I think regardless of which version of Even Shaman we were playing, I think that kind of start from our opponent probably would have had us dead sooner rather than later. So, okay. Advance the rogue. Send everything back here. Try and hit those premium 2-drops, but no luck, unfortunately. So hard. Yeah, Yekio, it's Odoric's a pretty tough matchup. It's a strong deck. Very strong deck.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
So we're gonna need some pretty good draws. Oh, okay. Quest Rogue. It's been a hot minute since we've played against Quest Rogue, especially in the last couple of expansions. Can we out-muscle a Quest Rogue if they get to go off? Probably not if they go off with Sonia. Whew. Saved by the bell a little bit. Still not an elemental, so it's still locked off a bit.
I should meet
you. It's golden because we can target our opponent's minion. I think well, next turn we're going to be coining this fire elemental probably, so we should do this elementary action first. There's a pig. One Shadow Step. And if they had Sonya there, we would have just been... I think... Do they actually finish the quest if they have Sonya? Prep Vanish?
My hand is too full.
No. Probably would have been a good one to have. What's the hint? Glacial Shard, the thing in the pig? So this way, hopefully we're left with a minion that we can Earthen Might and trade in, or we've got the Merc Spark Guild to kill something.
There once was a man from Gilneas.
Can even draw a Spellbreaker. Laugh! Shooting him down. Call me Tex.
I hope you like my invention.
Guarantee you I don't. Do I go for the Dynamo here to try and discover a Bloodlust and like OTK our opponent?
I wonder.
The universe unravels.
So we'll just take the Volcano. Also, why does this weird brainfish have a voice? Okay. They have the prep? Well, they can't have the prep, right? Oh no, they drew some cards.
I want you, and you, and you!
Oh. Summons a bunch of 4/4.
I should meet
That's what it is, it's a weird brainfish.
There is little time.
just have some 4/4s.
The calm before the storm.
Ooh, another mountain giant?
The calm before the storm.
Grumble. Great. Oh, Assassin DD with something in Russian. Google Translate.
There once was a man from Gilneas.
Come, try your luck.
Hope you like my invention.
Hello, you can play with you, then Shushko 1 go skip. Sky. I'm not sure. Not sure what you're saying there, friend. But I appreciate you hanging out. I can speak English. There you go. Do we just volcano this? Like trade and volcano? Probably. They have another Sonya though. I can play with you. It's Ward to play alone. Go Skype. No, we're actually recording a video for YouTube right now. So, whilst it is definitely boring to play alone, we've got some stuff going on here. So we definitely want to hex this.
The calm before the storm.
Okay. Still not sure if we can outmuscle this, especially without that Calamos. It's such a big loss for us. And the 12/12 power, the Giggling Inventor. I think that's well played to our opponent. That's our Lab Recruiter to shuffle in all those Giggling Inventors is really interesting. Gad actually gives our opponent so much power in the late game. I think that's one of the only outs for us is to hope that we just have bigger minions in that late game. But oh well, let's see if we can have. Okay, we're here with the deck. Honestly, I think there were a couple of really nice elements to the deck. I liked that I liked how big the bodies were. I liked that we did have a pretty good late game going on. That felt pretty strong, and individually, like fire elementals and mountain giants and doing all that stuff did feel really strong. I think one of the weaknesses of the deck is we really only have very limited proactive 2-drops. Menacing Nimbus and Mercspark Eel. And whilst Mercspark Eel is very good, those are very limiting options. And particularly against a lot of those decks, like those Odd Rogues or a lot of those minion-based decks, they are going to do their best to make sure that we don't have anything on board. So, we can't play an Earthenmite on our totem. If we haven't played an Elemental, do we really want to play Elementary Reaction just to cycle? And, Flame Tongue Totem is not an extremely good proactive play, especially when you don't have a board. So it's really... in those other even Shaman lists where you have things like Zap to help control your opponent's minions, or you have a lot more a variety of proactive plays with Knife Jugglers and Direwolf Alphas, these types of things, it makes for a cleaner earlier game, which means you can transition a lot better into those mid-game threats. So I think what I'd like to see is maybe cut something from this late game here, whether that's like the Skulking Geist or the Grumble, or maybe find like one of these Arcane Dynamos or something, and get some more early game in there with those Zaps, or maybe with a defensive 2-drop minion, even like Armani Berserker or something like that. Doomsayers, that would be pretty interesting. Interesting kind of dynamic, having Doomsayers alongside Mercbark Eels and Menacing Nimbuses. But I mean, if we're trying to be controlling and taking it to the late game, it's a pretty interesting option. So I think there's definitely some research, some testing that can be done, and that's, I think, where I would start, trying to find room for defensive 2-drops or Zap or something like that. But if you are watching this on YouTube, you can find all the links down in the description below, including a link over to the Hearthstone article. Jump over there, give the deck a +1, and leave a nice, thoughtful comment. You can also find all the links to my social information. If you want to touch base with me, the best place to do that is on Twitter @Tommy_Wave. And until next time, I do hope you stay wavy.